Take a deep breath. We are going to do one very interesting topic called as Praman Vichar, means of knowledge. So let us withdraw our mind from all the happenings outside in the world. Let us withdraw our mind from what is happening in the body. Let us withdraw our mind from what is happening in the mind. From the past, regrets, future, anxieties, present tensions, and sit straight where the head, neck, backbone is straight, the chin is upright, and we prepare ourselves to reflect upon one very subtle topic called as Praman Vichar. How knowledge is formed, what are the parameters for knowledge to happen, and how this is very important when we go for higher texts. And mainly I have started this session today because we are going to do the 13th chapter after completing the 12th chapter, which is Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga. That is the distinction between the knower and the known. Very, very interesting chapter. And this few reflections on Pramana Vichar will help us to get the subtlety of that chapter. So let us chant loudly and invoke God's grace, Ujja Gurudev's blessings, Ujja Guruji's blessings, and our source of inspiration, Swami Subodhananji, who was the Acharya of Siddhabadi Ashram for long time, conducted many courses in Hindi. Our Swami Advaitananji studied under him when he was the Acharya. And some of his sessions are there on YouTube. Those who want to listen, they are available on YouTube. Very slowly he will speak, very subtly he will speak, and in depth he will go into each topic. Most of them are in Hindi. I think all of them. So with the grace of our Guru Parampara, we will invoke that our studies become brilliant. We get the subtle essence of these topics and experience it. As Swami Advayananji says, Jnana and Vijnana, information, knowledge and wisdom. First it is information, then after understanding and without doubt it becomes knowledge, and then after experience it becomes my wisdom. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karvavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti, Shanti.
अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। स्थावरं जङ्गमं व्याप्तं यत्किञ्चित् सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। चिन्मयं व्यापि यत् सर्वं त्रैलोक्यं सचराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देव। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्।
Hari Om to all. Welcome to this interesting topic called as Praman Vichar. Those who are attending first time, please, as it's an online session, please feel free to ask questions. Those who have been attending the sessions in offline, they know normally these are all discussions, interactive sessions, but when the numbers go beyond a particular point, then it becomes difficult for having an interactive session in between. So after the class, please be open to ask questions if any point we need clarification or more thought as such. There are some people, Ashika, I think Suchitra is, I was going to ask who is Ashika. Her name is Suchitra. So the topic for reflection for us is Pramana Vichar. As we mentioned, there are very few books available on this in English. The book what we are going to refer or where I have derived my source of inspiration is Pramana Vichar by Swami Subodhanandji. He was our Acharya in Siddhabadi Ashram, and the book would be available in online. You can order it and that can be used as a reference. But as such, I have taken only important points from this particular book. Those who are keen to read more, they can refer to Nyaya school of philosophy, because this Praman Vichar is extensively discussed in detail in Nyaya Vaisheshika school of philosophy. So those who want to refer, they can refer on Google or go on internet and keep searching. You will get a lot of notes. Some people have done a lot of work and they have posted so that we can read. The basic concepts of this topic we will take up in this session. So the first topic, what we are going to take here is knowledge, because the topic for discussion is means of knowledge. So there are two words here, means and knowledge. So means is our main topic, but before we go to that, we will come to knowledge, because this particular topic is going to throw light on various aspects of knowledge, knower, knowing, means, etc. So the first topic is called as Jnana Mahima, the glory of knowledge. And the sutra we know, Sa Vidya Ya Vimuktaye. So we normally do not ask what is the definition of knowledge. There is physics knowledge, there is chemistry knowledge, there is economics knowledge, there is relationship knowledge, etc., etc. But what is the definition of knowledge? Knowledge is that which liberates us from bondage. So that is the knowledge, and this means when we study, this means will take us to this knowledge which will liberate us. So knowledge also is a means, and to get this right knowledge, we are going to take up the topic called as the means of knowledge. How the knowledge is formed and what are the different means. And then we will see that to know the self or God, what are the means required to know? Because Om Brahmavid Apnoti Param means the knower of Brahman attains supreme. So only knowledge is sufficient here. So what is the glory of this knowledge? As we have made one Siddhanta. So if you see our Adi Shankaracharya and our masters, they start with Siddhanta and then prove that Siddhanta. That is a wonderful method. We should take it into our day-to-day transactions and talking. First say what we have to say, what is our main point, and then give hypothesis, drishtanta, logic, etc. So our main Siddhanta here is, what is definition of knowledge? Sa Vidya Ya Vimuktaye. Knowledge is that which liberates. Other knowledges give us success, fame, security, money, and for day-to-day living. That is also important. But the real knowledge is that which liberates us. So if you are suffering from bondage, knowledge of liberation will give you freedom. Now we are proving this sentence. If you are suffering from poverty, knowledge of creating wealth will liberate you from poverty. This is very important. Just think about the people who are coming to your home, your maid servant, security guards. The only difference then the people who are working on the road, the beggars. The only difference between them and us is knowledge, because they have full body, 2 eyes, everything they have. Why the maid servant is coming and working at our place in 1,000 rupees, 2,000 rupees, 5,000 rupees. And there is a huge gap between our standard of living and her standard of living or his standard of living. The only difference is knowledge. The person has not studied beyond 5th standard, cannot write, cannot calculate. If you are suffering from illness, knowledge of health will liberate you from disease. Anywhere we go to a doctor, first doctor has to diagnose and must have the knowledge of what is the kind of fever. Even for fever, there are several kinds of fever. Doctor has to do blood test, this test, and doctor will say, okay, this is this kind of fever and this medicine only will work. If you are suffering from failures, knowledge of success will liberate. Now we can extend this. This I have made a couple of sentences just to prove the point. Suppose I am not a good cook, then knowledge of cooking will help me to become a good cook. Now you might say, no, in all these things, action also is required. Yes, only knowledge is not sufficient. In these, all these things, knowledge plus efforts, knowledge plus action is required. But savidya ya vimuktaye, why this knowledge is the knowledge? Because here only knowledge will liberate. Action is not required. Very important point. How can you say that? We can take day-to-day example. There was one beggar who was begging whole life, suffering with lot many things, no money. And when he was becoming 50, 60, suddenly one day he thought, I want to, I will do some kind of work in my house myself. All the flooring had come up, etc., etc. He's a beggar. And he started fixing the flooring, and then suddenly he found one of the tile was, very hollow noise was coming. So he removed that tile, and then he saw one big box, and in that lot of gold and coins his grandfather had kept. Now the moment he got it, he became rich. Though you might say he had to do the efforts of taking out the tile, but he was sitting on it. The moment he got the knowledge of it, it got it. Or we can say somebody came and told him that, where you are sleeping in that place, you just dig and you will find something what has been kept by your grandfather. The knowledge liberated him from the poverty. In all other things, action is required. In first sentence, only knowledge will give us liberation. What is the conclusion? Now we have to, those who are writing. So I would invite all of you in this topic, as there is no textbook available right now with us. So we must make notes. So we must make notes of the conclusion. What is the conclusion? First conclusion of this topic, what we are doing is ignorance is equal to bondage, knowledge is equal to freedom. So when we are talking of this particular topic, means of knowledge, we must glorify how knowledge is very important for us. So in any field, ignorance is equal to bondage, knowledge is equal to freedom. I must have knowledge of share market. I must have knowledge of business to make a lot of wealth. I must have knowledge of relationship to have happiness in the family. So wherever we go and think about this topic, it comes to our point, yes, knowledge is the key for success. Knowledge is the key for happiness. That is another equation we are going to establish. So now what is the second topic? Second topic is superiority of human being. What is the superiority of human being? So second topic which comes in this book also you will find, which is mentioned by Swamiji, is that suppose we consider all the animals and birds here on this planet, human being considers oneself as superior. On what basis? We will see, suppose we study systematically as science. Animals and birds have a stronger sense of perception than human beings. So their senses are very strong. Suppose we analyze systematically. A dog can smell much more than what we can smell. An eagle can see much more than what we can see. Many of the birds and animals can listen or see something beyond the range of what we can see and hear also. Ultraviolet rays, this rays and some different kinds of sounds they are able to hear. The bat in the night can exactly go and catch the rat only by sound, smell. So animals are superior in all the senses, what we have, 5 senses. Animals and birds have stronger feelings and emotions than human beings. But still human beings are considered superior to them. One person can regulate 10 tigers in a circus. One person can make 4 elephants sit on a small stool. One person can train so many whales, sharks, crocodiles. Animals and birds are physically stronger than human beings, yet human beings are considered to be superior to them because superiority is who is controlling whom. The tiger and lion are doing the same thing what they were doing thousands of years back. But human beings have grown into different levels. So the reason for this superiority is human beings are blessed with intelligence. This is a faculty which other species are, in other species it is not developed. So what is the difference between all animals, birds, insects and human beings? The knowledge makes it human beings superior. So in Bhagavad Gita also Bhagavan says that in that ladder of fall, pranashati means when the person loses the power of discrimination, then the person perishes. If a person having the intellect behaving like animal becomes animal in the next birth. What do animals do? Animals are basically doing only few things. Nidra, ahar, maithuna and bhaya. These are the 4 things what animals are programmed. Ahara. They know exactly what to eat, what not to eat. They are driven by fear. They are driven by nidra. They will sleep after ahar, and maithuna, the procreation. Beyond that, their intelligence is not going and asking why. Why things are happening the way things are happening. What is my purpose of life? Where I was last birth, where I will take next birth. Who is God? So what is the conclusion now? Siddhanta, second Siddhanta. So now this Siddhanta must come. We must write down the Siddhanta. Second Siddhanta is conclusion, knowledge is equal to power. Second Siddhanta. First Siddhanta, knowledge is equal to freedom. Second Siddhanta, knowledge is equal to power. Importance of knowledge. Suppose we now come to us and dissect and see this science of knowledge. All our experiences are based on knowledge. Our relationships too are based on knowledge. After one day, when a particular situation, there is a one boy and one girl, then they are told that now you are putting this Mangal Sutra, this garland, now you are husband and wife. That is knowledge. Without knowledge, I cannot have experience also. Like there is a chain, we have discussed this example many times, very important example in Vedanta, that there is a chain in my neck. I am having the experience, but I am not having the knowledge. Hari Om, this is a very important point in our Vedanta. I am wearing a chain, but I have forgotten. I am searching here and there. Then somebody comes and tells us, oh, the chain is in your neck itself. And then I touch it and then I start feeling that chain's experience on the neck. So now this is where this knowledge becomes very, very important to us, because those people who say that I am not having experience of Atma, I am Atma only, I am having experience of Atma all the time. What I am not having is knowledge. And that's the reason this Shastra is required. Shastra comes and tells us, you are that, you have forgotten it. Aham Brahmasmi, but right now you are thinking your body, mind, intellect. You have forgotten it. So when I forget something, knowledge will liberate us from that particular limitation. So in this aspect, knowledge alone liberates. We do not require an action. Somebody tells us something about somebody and then I lose trust, the relationship goes. Knowledge. So everything is based on knowledge. My experience is based on knowledge. My relationship is based on knowledge. Whatever decisions we make, that is based on knowledge. Whether it is a share market, whether it is a business, whether it is job, whether what is to be done. Suppose I have knowledge, I can make a decision about it. How can I make a decision whether I have to do this? I don't have to do this without knowledge. And those people who have higher knowledge, greater knowledge in that particular field, their decision is most of the time right. We have Shreyas and Preyas. Right decision. So your right decision will come from right knowledge. But how to have this right knowledge is the topic here. So now we saw means of knowledge is Praman Vichar. Valid means of knowledge will lead to valid knowledge. If the means are not valid, I will not get the valid knowledge. What is the validity of truth? How will I know? I know that I do not know. That is also knowledge. Then I say I know it. That is also knowledge. All actions stem from knowledge. Without knowledge of cooking, how will I cook? Knowledge makes actions efficient. And when there is less knowledge, then the actions become tentative. Then I am nervous. I am not confident. When there is in-depth knowledge, then action becomes supremely powerful. People are paid for their knowledge ability than action ability. Very important one. Suppose a person comes from IIT and IIM, and the person may be a little weak person, but he will be paid maximum salary than a person who has more physical ability, who is cutting stones on the road. I'm not talking about a person who is a bodybuilder. He might get more money, but people in office, people in world are paid more because of their knowledge ability than action ability. Action also is required, but people are recruited at the higher level, CEO, chairman, managing director, general manager, because they have got greater knowledge. So what is the conclusion? Right knowledge is equal to cause of happiness and success, and wrong and faulty knowledge is equal to cause of failure and unhappiness. So whenever I'm failing, whenever I'm unhappy, whenever I'm frustrated, irritated, then I must go back and check my knowledge. This is a very important point, because we not normally want to change the action without changing the knowledge. Without the cause is knowledge, the effect is action. I never doubt my own knowledge. No, my knowledge is right. This person is like this. This person is not like this. I know, because I know this person for last 20 years. But the main point in this world is that Jayate Gacchati iti jagata, everything changes. The person also would change, no? The person's attitude would change, the person's vision would change, the person's viewpoint will change. How can you say my perception about another person is the same thing which I'm having holding for last 20 years? So whenever I am not happy or whenever I am not successful in any endeavor, I must go back and check and enhance the knowledge. Let me go back whether what knowledge I need to acquire to be successful in this day-to-day life and be happy. That is our purpose of life. Both are related to knowledge. Ignorance can be removed only by knowledge. So right now also we are learning Atma Bodh. Vedanta Vijnana class is going on. Swami Advainanji is taking in person in ashram. I am going, so those who want to have a free ride, they can come with me, come to Ghatkopar, we will go and come back. In that also it has been mentioned that action cannot remove ignorance. In the third verse, knowledge only is antidote to ignorance. Action can remove mala. Action can purify the mind. Upasana is antidote to anekagrata. So it will create ekagrata, but knowledge will remove ajnana. So karma is virodhi of mala. Upasana is virodhi of vikshepa, and jnana is virodhi of ajnana. So only ignorance can only be removed by knowledge, not by action. No, you might say, no, I have got the knowledge that I am Atma. We are going to come to very beautiful point in Pramana Vichar, but still I am not having the experience because my mind is not pure and my intellect is not concentrated. So for that, I need to do action and upasana. So then knowledge becomes our means to happiness. Now, very important point is coming, how we are entering this topic of Pramana Vichar. So suppose I want to become successful, suppose I want to become happy, knowledge is our means. And how the right knowledge happens, that is our topic of Pramana Vichar, means of knowledge. So Pramana is an important factor in gaining knowledge. If Pramana is faulty, knowledge also will be faulty. We are going to discuss in detail, but one of my favorite example, when this Pramana comes. Now, all of you, those who are attending these sessions, 40, 50 people, sadhaks, you can see my palm. You can see some lines on the palm, but beyond that, you cannot see. You cannot smell. But there are a lot of dirt particles on this. Suppose I take microscope, I will start seeing the dirt particles. If I use another measurement of nose, I will find whether the palm is, whether I have just now eaten mango, because when we eat mango, mango smell comes. Whether I have, taken some onion or garlic. How will we know? When we change the instrument, the knowledge changes. So we got a Siddhanta. When the instrument is changed, the knowledge is changed. Very important pointer to write down. So depending upon my instrument, my knowledge will be dependent. We never think of this. My instrument today is WhatsApp, and somebody says something to me, that cannot become my pramana of creating knowledge. Now, what is my pramana of knowing this? No, WhatsApp, just now somebody posted something, it can be created. Now there are fake videos also, a deep fake, something they make and then it appears real. So the means to happiness is now very important sentence coming. So the means to happiness is right knowledge, prama, applied to a right object, prameya. Right object in the sense, now we are going to discuss what is the meaning of right object. Do you think all other objects are not right objects? What we are saying is that right objects means that object which remains changeless. If there is a changing object, how can we have a permanent knowledge about changing object? This point I have to ponder upon. And suddenly there will be joy from within when I get, oh, it means this. So this is a joy of knowledge. This is intellectual realization. Before actual realization happens, there is something called as intellectual realization also, where the smile comes, joy comes, ananda comes from within. Oh, this is it. And when we start applying this into our day-to-day life, this joy will enhance. So now right knowledge means prameya. I want to have knowledge about an object which is changeless, which is beginningless, which is endless, which remains permanent, and which is going to give me happiness. And that permanent object will give me permanent happiness. How should I know it? By right pramana, by having the knowledge of it. So where the eternal happiness is located? In myself, because myself is not changing. Atma is not changing. So that becomes our prameya, and through the right means, because after this we will come to know that the changing thing here is pramana. The prameya is not changing. Atma is same only. The knowledge of Atma also will not change because that is same. So what it means is that now this is a direct means of realization. Just I came across one notes written by one Mahatma, one monk gave me so many times, so many years back. Realization through thinking. This is what it is. Just by thinking, I can realize, yes, the self is not changing. The knowledge of self is not changing. That we are going to see now. What are the qualifications to have the right knowledge? What is the knowledge, permanent knowledge? What are the qualifications? And so what is important is the right means. Suppose I employ the right means, I will get the right knowledge and permanent happiness. As simple as that. So Shastras declared the following equation in life. Ignorance is equal to suffering. Knowledge is equal to happiness. This Conclusion is accepted by all schools of our thoughts. All six darshanas say that Nyaya, Vaisheshika, Yoga, Sankhya, Purva Mimamsa, Uttar Mimamsa. This Siddhanta, all schools of thought accept. Yes, ignorance is equal to suffering, knowledge is equal to liberation. But their objects are different. Here our object is self, my own real self. So conclusion, what is the conclusion from this? We have to strive for two knowledges in this world. What are the two knowledges? Knowledge for success, comfortable living, which is very important. Success and comfortable living, and knowledge for happiness. Now, success and comfort will not give us happiness, because objects have the capacity to give us comfort and enjoyment, not happiness. This is a very important distinction I must have between enjoyment, comfort, and happiness. We have read all those kind of things, this WhatsApp Gyan and lot many things come. We can give you pillow and bed, but we cannot give you sleep. We can give you air conditioner and we can give you food, but we cannot give you hunger. In the same way, the objects have some capacity to make us comfortable, secure, and give us success, fame, power, but they do not have the power to give us happiness, because happiness is located in the subject, and that is what we want. You can have both. For both, if you see, two knowledges are required. So before we go to Praman Vichar, today we will complete with this. Many people say, my view, my style, my opinion, my behavior as it is. I do not know whether right or wrong, but everybody says, this is my opinion, this is my view, this is my knowledge, this is my behavior, based on this is what my knowledge. So basically, what we are saying, yatha drushti, tatha srushti. So drushti here means yatha knowledge. As my knowledge, so my action. As my knowledge, so my success or failure. As my knowledge, so related to my sorrow or happiness. So here there are four views. These are very important to know, because views means darshan shastra. So we are not discussing the different schools of philosophy. That is also a very interesting topic to know. What are different darshanas? Darshanas means darshan, view. Everybody has their own view to live life. And that is where the whole conflict happens. Your view and my view are different. We don't check the view, we only check the actions and behavior. So what are the broad four views? We will see next time. There is one world, many people, but there are different views in the same world. And once we understand this, in my mind, there will not be any conflict. I will not get irritated. I will not get frustrated with people. That is a very important point to learn all this topic, because for learning spiritual knowledge, my mind must be quieter. In Atmabodh, we are learning. There are qualifications to learn this knowledge. One of the qualification is that I must not get disturbed so easily by what is happening outside. I must not get irritated, frustrated by what is happening outside with situation, people, and objects. This is a qualification required for any sadhak who wants to come to spiritual knowledge, because that is what is demanded. Then I don't get so easily disturbed. I don't get so easily distracted. I don't get my peace of mind remains for quite some time. At least for this class, when I'm learning, when I'm pondering, I must not get carried away so easily. I must not get disturbed so easily. I must not get disturbed so easily. This happens when we understand that there is one world but many views, and we start appreciating it. Our view, this is very important to ponder before we see the four broad views. That view, what is this view? Our knowledge. So we are coming to that. Our knowledge, collection of our knowledge, our memory, our values, our thoughts, and our emotion. This is what we call as my view. So what is my view? My knowledge, my memory, my values, my thoughts, my emotions. A bundle of this, what we call as my view, and that is driving me to behave in a particular way. And then we wonder why this person is behaving this way after reading so many scriptures, because maybe the interpretation what I'm having about the scriptures is faulty, not correct, because the moment I have correct knowledge, the action will be right. The moment I know that the self in me, self in all, and the self in me is where the happiness is located, and the same self is there in all, which is pure existence, pure consciousness, infinite bliss, automatically my vyavhar will start changing. So there are different viewpoints which drive our way. This is very important, because when we are doing pramana vichar, then we must see that different schools of thoughts, they have different pramanas they have accepted. Like Charvak only accepts that what is seen is truth. I do not know about God, I do not know about Atma. जो दिखता है वो सत्य है, जो नहीं दिखता है वो असत्य है. Many of us actually are reading spirituality, but our view is of Charvak only. What is not available for senses, that is untrue. I do not know about heaven, I do not know about rebirth, I do not know about God, I do not know about Atma. What is there, deal with it. That is also very important. We will see that. Pratyaksha Praman is very important. So there are 4 broad views we will take what people have, so that we have more peace, more ananda inside, and we don't get so carried away and disturb what people talk, people say, because they immediately after understanding this, we will say, oh, this person is talking this, his view or his knowledge would be that. That would help us to find peace in relationship, because prakrutim yanti bhutani, their prakriti, their knowledge is driving their behavior. So that we will see next time. If anybody has any questions, you can ask once we complete the chanting. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you very much.